Traveler?
Yeah, I'm feeling great, man. I'm feeling great. The draft is over, and so I feel good about the draft. I'm not the only one that feels good about the draft. For the first time in like forever, the national media loves our draft. So I mean, this is great. I feel good about the Panthers and where we're heading.
Listen, we're going to get to it. Obviously, we're going to get to it. That's why we have you here. My man during the break hits us with, yeah. I was I don't mean to give it away, but drinking on the beach in Aruba last week. Thanks for putting in the hard work, for showing back up, buddy. That's all I'm saying. I appreciate it.
Yeah, you got to come back. I mean, I'm a man of the people, so I always give the people what they want.
Give the people what they want.
I may never go to Aruba, but I know a guy who did, and he looks like he had a good time.
I did.
Rashad Beard joining us here on the show. All right, let's get into it. Of course, the NFL draft last weekend. You mentioned the fact that it has been pretty positively reviewed, Rashad Beard, the draft class of the Carolina Panthers. We'll get into some of the individual picks here in a second, but just your overall thoughts on it.
Yeah, overall, man, I thought that the Panthers let the draft come to them. They didn't do too much reaching, and they addressed a lot of the areas that need improvement. And so I'm happy, man. I couldn't be more happy with the draft. Now it's up to the coaching staff to get the best out of them. But I don't think the draft could have went any better. I thought there was, as the draft went on, a lot of offensive guys went in the first round, which allowed the draft to fall the way it did for us. And so, yeah, couldn't have went any better for the Carolina Panthers. I'm happy.
Let's get into the individual stuff here. Let's start with the first pick overall, Tenera McMillan, the wide receiver out of Arizona. You said multiple times, Rashad, that you wanted a wide receiver in this draft. Was that the one that you wanted? Are you good with the pick? You pass on Jalen Walker, who I wanted to be the pick for the Cats, but you get your wide receiver and you get a guy that apparently a lot of other teams maybe coveted a little bit more than we thought that they did. Apparently the Dallas Cowboy war room kind of went to shambles a little bit when he came off the board at 8 to Carolina. Your thoughts on adding Big T to the mix?
Well, before we talk about T-Mac, I don't want to say his name because he prefers to be called T-Mac. And so before we get to that, we got to talk about and give credit to Dan Morgan and those guys for holding the cards tight, bro. Like everything was in the media was said it's going to be Jalen Walker. It's going to be Jalen Walker. It's going to be Jalen Walker. Nobody in Panther Nation really, we all said it. I thank you for giving me credit. I said that the Carolina Panthers needed to get a wide receiver. I have been on record saying that for the entire draft process. But nobody thought that the Carolina Panthers were going to actually take a wide receiver top 10. And so I give Dan Morgan, those guys, all the credit in the world for holding the cards tight and not just going what everybody thought, right? Jalen Walker was supposed to be the pick. They pivoted and went T-Mac. But as far as T-Mac, the individual, man, I think I said this on my show the other day. I think T-Mac is the perfect puzzle piece for this offense, right? When you look at Bryce Young and how he plays, when he's able to extend plays and get out the pocket and create, T-Mac is the perfect guy because you start to play that backyard ball. He can use his speed, his long speed to get open, and you throw it up and T-Mac is going to get it. That's the type of guy this offense needed. And I think this is the perfect puzzle piece. He's got elite body control, elite tracking of the football, and he can catch. How many drops did we see last year, right? We talked about it. All those drops that we saw, right? That is not going to happen with T-Mac. He's got really big catch radius. He can catch everything coming his way. So I love this pick. It's a great pick for Bryce Young, and Bryce Young should be elated that he has another weapon on that offense.
I am not disagreeing. I want to play devil's advocate about one thing just to get your response on it, okay? The one thing is this. Does not have elite top-end speed. You're right. Great ball catcher. 50-50 balls become 70-30 balls when T-Mac's down there. Guy who understands body positioning in order to take advantage of spots. But my thought was still need a guy to take the roof off. Do you believe that Jalen Coker is that guy and this frees him up to be that spot and that's why this is the right pick? Because the one thing you don't have yet is what I like to refer to as the somebody down there somewhere offense, which I thought we would address later in the draft. You didn't do that. So is this belief that Jalen Coker can be your take the top off wide receiver, or is there something else I'm not seeing here?
Yeah, I'm not sure that Jalen Coker is that type of guy. I think Jalen Coker is it fits better in the slot, right? I think he's that type of guy, and I think that he is going to be more your Adam Thielen replacement. So I don't think Coker is that type of guy. However, I do think Liggett he runs a 4-3, right? Why are we overlooking the fact that Xavier Liggett can be that guy? He can get open. We've seen Xavier Liggett stretch the field. He just didn't complete the catches. Right. So if he gets better, I think Xavier Liggett can be that guy to take the top off. And I think you have a nice complement of receivers. If there is a diverse skill set now in that wide receiver room. And I just think, listen, I think T-Mac has to get better in some areas. I think he can get open. If he gets better with his releases off the line of scrimmage, I think he can get open quickly. And again, he's got long speed. And with the way Bryce Young extends plays, once T-Mac gets ahead of steam, he can run past you. Right. It's just a matter of extending those plays. So listen, I like this pick. I think, can you nitpick it and find areas? Sure, we can do that. But I think when you have a coach such as Dave Canales and Idzik, who are wide receiver guys, they're going to get the best out of this guy. And I firmly believe that he's going to be our Mike Evans. He's going to be our DK Metcalf. He's going to be that guy, wide receiver one, incoming. T-Mac's the guy.
All right, outside of T-Mac, I'm looking down. Ransom, Cam Jackson's a very interesting defensive tackle in the 5th round. Jimmy Horn Jr. in that 6th round could be very interesting. Outside of T-Mac, give me your 1 or 2 favorite picks out of this. I'm not saying best. I'm saying favorite.
Yeah, so one of my favorite picks is Nick Scorton, who we picked up in the 2nd round. They had a 1st-round grade on him. Edge rusher, we all know that the Carolina Panthers needed help. And I'll package him up. Princely as well. The 2nd and 3rd round picks. We needed both of those guys, right? We needed to double dip in edge. That's something that we mentioned on this show several times. So I love both of those picks. I think they're 2 different types of guys. Princely's more of a speed edge rusher off the edge. Think Brian Burns, not necessarily Brian Burns' talent level yet. I think he could develop into that, but think Brian Burns. And then Nick Scorton is more of a run-stopping edge. He can also rush the passer. He was doing different things with Texas A&M. They asked him to put on some weight. But if you go back and look at his Purdue film, the man was great. Okay, he's a great pass rusher. He's a great run stopper. He's that combo guy that we needed. So I love Nick Scorton. That's one of my favorite picks. The Cam Jackson is a great pick as well. We needed a nose tackle in that Evil Road defense. So I think that was a great pick. Oh man, I get excited towards the back end of the draft. Mitchell Evans, tight end. I mean, did we watch him in Notre Dame the year before he got hurt? I mean, this guy can be really, really good if he gets healthy. We don't need him to lock in right now at this moment because we've got Tommy Tremble, we've got Jatavion Sanders, so he can take a couple years to develop. But boy, he's a great blocker, which is what we need if you want to run the football like we want to run the football. So you got a good blocking tight end who can win 8 to 10 yards, right? Between 8 to 10 yards, he's a problem as far as catching the football. And then you got Jimmy Horn. I know. Do I like the whole draft? Almost. I almost like the whole draft, Rob. I can go through everything. This whole draft was very good. I'm going to be honest. I like everything about the draft except for one pick.
You can't just stop that sentence right there, dog.
No, but listen,
you gotta finish. No.
He took a drink.
No, he was gonna stop.
Perfect.
He was gonna stop. He was gonna let that be a little tease, a little cliffhanger. And I'm not here for it, Rashad. You can't say that and then not finish it.
Let him be a pro. I mean, come on. What are you doing, Rob?
Okay. All right. So one of the picks I was not in love with is the Trevor ETN pick. I like the fact that we got a running back. I don't like where we got this running back because I do think we could have got Trevor a little bit later in the draft. I think we reached a little bit there. I think he does. Again, there's an advantage to him because he doesn't have a lot of tread. He hasn't been utilized a lot in Georgia, right? So he split backfield. That was not one of my favorite picks because, again, he's going to be RB3. You picked up an RB3 in the 3rd round. Not really happy about it. And it's not really the individual, right? I think we picked up a running back because we had to pick up a running back because Jonathan Brooks, right? Jonathan Brooks being injured makes us. So it's not necessarily the individual. Trevor's cool. I just don't like the fact that we had to reach for a running back because of the injuries, and it's really nobody's fault.
All right, where does Hunter Renfro fit in all of this? Somebody posted a graphic yesterday of the Bryce Young rookie year wide receiver room versus this year's wide receiver room, and it was a joke. It was laughable. Then you add Hunter Renfro, who is Mr. Reliable, Mr. Consistent, sat out last year because of a head injury, but was performing very well for the Raiders before they let him go. Where does he fit into this receiver room? Is there room for him on the roster on opening day?
Oh man, that's such a tough question. And before we go there, can we acknowledge the competition in the room? Can we acknowledge the increased talent in the wide receiver room? Like, that's impressive to me. So you bring in Hunter Renfro, who hasn't played last season, didn't play last season at all due to some health issues. But boy, did we watch his film when he was with the Raiders? Like, this dude was solid, right? And he adds some ability in the return game, which is something important. It's something that we need. Also, he's a very, very good wide receiver, very steady, right? And I think there is room for him. I think there is. I think we could keep 6 to 7 wide receivers, and it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be a tough out for everybody. And I think that's the purpose of bringing in a Hunter Renfro, is to push that entire room. If he doesn't, return to that prior skill set and the abilities that he was prior, then hey, it is what it is. At least we took a stab at it, right? So again, I think it's a win-win situation for Hunter Renfro and the Carolina Panthers. But boy, if he turns the page a little bit to those prior years, it could be really, really good for the Carolina Panthers.
Rashad Beard, host of the Panther Nation podcast, joins us every Thursday at 8:40 to talk Panther football with us. Listen, I know we got another week till we do this again, Rashad Beard, but I got to tell you, pal, in the, 4-ish years that you've been coming on this show, pal, I don't think there has been an interview that you have radiated, and it ain't just the Aruba sun effect, man. Like, you are floating right now, bro.
Yeah, no, I'm excited. And I'm excited because of continuity, right? We finally have a head coach that's going to get a second year, and he actually has time to build his program, and we're going to see some development, right? We're actually going to get to see this coach execute his plan. And when things tend to line up, right? They're looking like things are lining up for the Carolina Panthers to be really good. Bryce Young is turning the corner. The defense on paper has improved across the board. We brought in some guys in the offseason, added to it in the draft, right? Things are heading in the right direction. So I feel good about it. I feel really, really good about where things are going. And I think Panther Nation should.
Rashad Beard, host of the Panther Nation podcast. You can find them on X at Panther Nation PC. More important, get subscribed to the YouTube channel where they are live like all the time. Y'all you and Dave Boy take a nap on Sunday night. I imagine y'all got to have zonked for like 2-3 days straight.
Yeah. No, we're good, man. We're locked in. So no days off. No days off for PNP. We locked in. We still got to go over the undrafted guys. So it's a lot of work to do. It's a long off season. We're gonna break it all down. But feel good about it.
You got to be a degenerate to do a UDFH pod. But here we are, fella.
Listen, no days off, man. We all in. Panther Nation podcast. Let's get it.
Rashad Beard from the PNP joins us every Thursday at 8:40 to talk Panther football. Hating ass Mario Herron from the BetMGM Network is next. We'll talk some NBA playoffs. The Rockets stave off elimination. The Lakers eliminated. We'll find out what Mario's thoughts are when we come back. That's after Lonzo blows your mind with his sports flash.
Well, I mean, if I do that, how simple are you? The LA Lakers are headed home, eliminated by the Timberwolves last night with a 103-96 loss. Rudy Gobert had a playoff high 27 points and 24 boards, and Julius Randle added 23. LeBron James was uncertain about his future in the league, asked if his 22nd career season was his last. James said he doesn't have an answer and that he'll have conversations with friends and family before making a decision. The Houston Rockets stayed alive with a 131-116 win over Golden State last night, though the Warriors still lead the series 3-2. All 5 Houston starters finish in double digits, led by Fred VanVleet's 26. The Atlanta Braves were unable to finish the sweep of the Rockies, dropping the finale at Colorado 2-1. Chris Sale was tagged with his third loss, despite giving up just 5 hits and 2 runs across 7 innings. Hour number 4 of the Rob Brown Show is coming up next, right here on the Fan Upstate.
radio ads about the IRS, they tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's 5,000, 50,000, or 500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6986. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 five-star reviews on Google and an A+ for the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at tra.com or call 800-575-6986. That's 800-575-6986. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
For over 8 years, Future Genetics is the nation's leader in non-surgical relief for joint pain, with over 50,000 satisfied patients. Even the knee is pain, now they do banter. Shoulder and hip pain. Hey, it's Trevor James. What they're doing is nothing short of remarkable. They're using regenerative cell therapy to restore the tissue in your aching joint. They're using biologic growth factors with robust healing properties. Strategically placed in your joint. It's a powerful and potent way to give your joints new life, restoring old tissue. That's why with Future Genetics, there's no drugs, no surgery is involved, and there's no downtime. This is an all-natural cellular level option with lasting relief. The patient satisfaction reports are astounding. Imagine doing all the things you enjoyed this summer without being slowed down by that awful joint pain in your knees or your back. Call QC Kinetics now and learn about these cutting-edge treatments that can help you live your best life. Call 864-448-3772 in Greenville and in Nashville. 864-448-3772.
Said Mario thing.
448-3772. I'm Bob Burke, founder and chairman of Burke America Parts Group, a family of brands that includes RepairClinic.com, an appliance and HVAC parts solution company that's grown into an international brand. Before AmericanEagle.com, we partially launched a new technology platform developed by another firm. American Eagle helped take our technology to a whole new level with digital marketing, software development, and business insights into our key markets: appliances, HVAC, and outdoor power.
Oh, there he is.
And on budget. AmericanEagle.com has the resources, experience, and talent needed to produce solutions.
Oh, we're hat guy today.
Right back at you.
I'm always hat guy, buddy.
I remember when those soccer jerseys came out, and I thought they were the sickest soccer jerseys I've ever seen. And I had like a friend that just shit on it because it looks like they're in a pageant, beauty pageant. And
They're called the pageant stripes.
Oh, that makes sense. But I was like, I think they're cool. I like
it. I like this. This is one of my favorite. They made this one, but they also made it in red with a blue stripe. I love that jersey. Love that jersey.
Nice. Is that Landon Donovan? Not Landon Donovan.
No, this one's just generic, no name on the back because, golly, this jersey's what 15, 16 years old, and I bought it when it dropped. These jerseys are old. Yeah, these jerseys are old.
Man, that just made me feel so old.
I don't want to hear it. We had one of our beat reporters on earlier, and I made the Justin Timberlake "It's Gonna Be May" joke, and I was like, "Are you old enough for NSYNC?" And she's like, "Oh no, they were before I was born," and it hurt my feelings a lot.
I mean, she's probably around my age then. I caught the end of them. I think
I
was
wouldn't be.
born when they broke
You're
up.
getting enough. I wouldn't be shocked if you were here because of NSYNC.
Probably. Timberlake's goated though. He's pretty sick.
Timberlake's put out some bangers. Ain't no doubt.
No doubt.
I'm not in this conversation because I'm extremely old. So, I mean,
Lonzo's boy band was the Jackson 5.
It was not. It was New Edition. Yeah, you got to stop. It wasn't Jackson 5.
I don't even think I heard a New Edition. I know New Kids on the Block. That's the Boston crew.
Right? Do you know Bobby Brown? Doesn't know Bobby Brown either. Okay.
Negative. Trying to think if I know that.
Every Little Step I Take, My Prerogative.
Oh, every step I take. That
will be there. You're thinking of
you did the theme for Ghostbusters 2.
And here we go. The fourth and final best, the money hour of the Rob Brown Show starts now. It is the Fan Upstate. Rob Brown, the Great Malonzo, and you. And now joining us as he does every Thursday at 9 a.m. on our stream, which you can watch at facebook.com/the Fan Upstate, the Fan Upstate on YouTube, the Fan Upstate on Twitter, or the Rob Brown Show on Facebook, on YouTube, or on Twitch. The hating ass one himself, Mario Heron for the BetMGM Network, executive producer of BetMGM Tonight, which you can hear every single weekday night from 7 to 11 p.m. And tomorrow might be hosted by the two most handsomest men in radio, Ryan Horvat and me, the great one on that side of the glass, Mario on that side of the glass. What up, big fella? How you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. I mean, I can't wait for tomorrow with the great Rob Brown on BetMGM Tonight, talking little defensive rookie of the year, offensive rookie of the year. We have Rockets Warriors, another game that we'll be live reacting to. It's going to be a packed show, so make sure everyone tunes in. And even tonight on our show, we have Ryan Harris, the former Super Bowl champion. Are you freaking kidding me?
Nice.
That's who we have on at 7:40. So get locked in, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be a fun night, but what's more fun than the NFL draft and the NBA? I would say absolutely nothing.
Let's talk a little NBA here. Let's go back last night. Lakers bounced 4-1 by the lower seeded Timberwolves. Apparently, Rudy Gobert decided he was Kareem Abdul-Jabbar for a night. Simple outcome to me. I really wanted to believe that Luka and LeBron playing the outside in game would be enough to get it done. But at the end of the day, Timberwolves just own the paint every series. Not necessarily in terms of putting up 30 burgers from close range the whole time, but just out physicaled the Lakers and Luka by himself, because I do not think Braun was as physical as he was in the regular season before Luka showed up. It basically cost them.
It did. I think what cost them more too, Rob, is, and we see this every playoff run. We see this so many times with like these quote unquote like superstardom teams. We see it happen with the Suns. We saw it happen with the Nets when they had their kind of big three going. We just saw it now with Luka and LeBron. When you just have superstars and you have like 2 to 3, but you don't have anything around them, you're going to lose the basketball game. Because in these deep playoff runs, in these championship level teams, yes, you have to have a superstar, but you have to have the role players that just stepped up and played out of their minds in order to win a title, in order to make a run. You know, Derek White with the Celtics was a huge part. Payne Pritchard's a huge part. Bruce Brown when the Nuggets made their run was a huge part. On the Bucks, you had Brook Lopez that was huge during that. Obviously, Middleton was too, but Drew Holiday was also excellent in that. You have every single time guys around the superstars that just up their game. And with the Los Angeles Lakers, you didn't have that. That's why J.J. Redick didn't sub a whole second half and kept his starters in this past weekend, and that came back and hurt them. That's why last night you saw, once again, you know, Rudy Gobert had a great night, and it was very funny to see Shaq try to like compliment him live on air. But he stepped up big. DiVincenzo is huge. McDaniels is huge. Alexander Walker's a nightmare on the defensive side. Naz Reid is always in your grill. Like, the Wolves just have all of these plug-and-play guys that the Lakers just simply don't. They don't even have a 5. And you saw the roots of it. You saw what the issues lie. And on top of all that, Rob, you have a rookie head coach that's never had any coaching experience. And JJ, you can scream at the media all you want. And quite frankly, it kind of pissed me off a little bit. Like, JJ, that was a very reasonable question. If you're going to get mad about that, then simply grow up. Figure it out. You're not a Duke, snotty, bratty college player anymore. You're a grown man coaching the most popular franchise in basketball. Figure it the hell out. That made me so angry last night. But Lakers, they're out. I'm glad to see it. LeBron, you need more people around him, because at 40 years old, he can defeat Father Time, but he's, got to do it on his terms. You can't just ask for more and more and more.
The JJ thing is interesting, because I was very much against the hire when it got made. And then in the regular season, I handed JJ Redick all the flowers because I thought he did a pretty good job. And then it just felt like it was full meltdown mode in these playoffs. But the point I made, and I had a conversation with a buddy of mine earlier this AM talking about the elimination, Mario, it's just frustration, because at the end of the day, you could have had the greatest substitution role of all time. You just didn't have the dog. You didn't have the big man. Like, I don't know if the Mark Andrews trade that the Lakers invalidated via a failed physical would have fixed it. But if you'd had a 7-footer that could disrupt Rudy Gobert, you'd at least had a chance. They just didn't have the weaponry to get it done. It doesn't matter what substitution rotation JJ Redick went with.
No, listen, I don't disagree with that. I think they didn't have enough weaponry. Like, they just didn't have the personnel to beat the Wolves, and they didn't have the personnel to make it far in the playoffs. Like, when you made the argument for the Lakers to do it, your argument was, what if Luka just does the unreal Luka things? What if LeBron does the thing that we've seen him do so many times? That was your argument, and then you said, what we've seen from Austin Reeves offensively, he can carry this team to the playoffs, and then you just need luck along the way. Let's be honest, you need guys to get hurt. You need teams to have some unfortunate situations, some long series, and boom, you're in the Western Conference Finals, you're in the NBA Finals. It's happened before with teams. But at the end of the day, I think it's hard to fix what you have. And JJ, I was against the JJ hire. I think he did an excellent job in hiring assistants around him that are veteran head coaches. You have Nick McMillan that's on that staff. Scott Brooks has been on that staff. Those are guys that have been a part of long playoff runs as head coaches. So I think those are smart moves. And on the NBA, there's no hiding on the NBA floor. If you're the wink link, like, congratulations, you're going to be found. Where's Waldo? You got him. It's the easiest game to ever play. But all that being said, you got to put your team in the best situation to win, and to not even trot out the idea, I think, of throwing Hayes out there. That's where I kind of go against it. And like some out of bounds plays, and that game this past weekend where you had 3 guys just sprint at the inbounder. I don't know what play that was, but obviously it didn't work, and it was a pretty stupid play. I'm also, hand up, like, I hate Duke. I hate JJ Redick. I can't stand. So there's bias in this take.
Hey, I don't. None of us noticed that when he was talking a little bit earlier about Duke.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Never been brought up on this show before, actually.
I just can't look, there's a lot of things, like, he acted like he was so above the media when he was in media, and acted like, I'm the only one that can talk basketball and I understand basketball. It's like, okay, come on. Other people can too. And then you go on a show where all the show is hot takey, and then you think you're going to bring, like, some sense to it, and then you're thinking you're going to be like this overall, like, calmness to it. Okay. Don't say there's a problem with media and then join the biggest problem in the media.
Hayton S. Mario Heron from the BetMGM Network joins us on Thursdays at 9:00. One thing I've said, my biggest takeaway from these playoffs so far is that the old hats who say the NBA isn't physical anymore are just wrong. I mean, they're just wrong. These teams are absolutely getting after it. Do you agree with that take? And what is your biggest takeaway from round 1?
So the way I kind of look at this is, my dad, who is a complete 90s basketball homer, it was better back in the day.